Stop it!
Pair, subscribe! Pair, subscribe!
And welcome to Thursday Night Blather. I am annoyed. I am definitely annoyed this week. And that little video is just a preview of one of the things that annoys me. Because you know what annoys me? A lot of things annoy me. I really try not to get annoyed. I really do. You know, telemarketers and tailgaters and stuff I'm going to get into. You know, I really, really do try not to get annoyed. But one of the things that really annoys me is I watch a lot of podcasts, and I'm sick of these people saying like and subscribe every time.
The channel, hit the bell to get notifications. Anytime I go live or make a video, y'all already know what to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now.
We do that, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We know that 75% of you are not yet subscribed to the channel.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video.
All four of those are podcasts that I actually like, but I am sick. I am really sick of this like and subscribe on every friggin' podcast. Hey, you know what? It's insulting. This is truly an insult to intelligence. If we like a video, we know how to hit like. And if we want more from the person that we just watched, we know how to hit subscribe. And if we think your podcast is essential to our mental health, we might even hit the notification bell. However, saying it every friggin' time is just annoying. It's annoying, and I'm really trying. I really try. I try. I truly and honestly try to not let things annoy me. And I've gotten better at the whole serenity thing. Maybe having Stephanie in my life had something to do with that. She's away this week, though. She's on a silent retreat. Good for her. Good for her. She's 10 days of silence. Anyway, so the serenity thing, it's nice. You know, serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage thing. How many times I said that in meetings. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I used to get annoyed for no reason pretty often. And one of the things that would trigger me is when people would say, "How are you? How are you?" Seems pretty innocent, right? It would send me into a tizzy of confusion. I'd be like, what do these people mean when they say, "How are you?" I used to find that, I used to find that question really stressful. So what do? Do I give a short summary of the positives and negatives of my life? Do I go into detail? Do I just say the standard and expected answer, fine, or fine, in a friendly tone, when it might be anything but fine? I might be anywhere from devastated to ecstatic. So mathematically speaking, there is a really very, very small chance that the dial lands on fine after it's spun. It was torture. It really was. Every time somebody asked me, "How are you?" which was pretty much the beginning of 80% of the conversations I have with just about anybody, because I took it so literally. I did. And it was years of being tormented by, albeit well-meaning people, unaware of how literally I would take that question. And then I finally found the solution. The answer that's true, whether I'm devastated, ecstatic, or any permutation thereof. But this is the most important word in the English language. Watch and learn. The most important word in the English language is forget about it. Because it's true no matter how you're feeling. It's true, though, in every context. I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing great. Forget about it. I'm miserable. Things are horrible. Forget about it. Or just anywhere in between. Forget about it. It's always true. It is always true. There is not a mood you can be in that forget about it doesn't apply to. So that is my second TED Talk. It's free. Well, just by listening to the Blathering Boomer, I don't give a shit if you like or subscribe. Well, that's not true. I like it if you like and subscribe, but I respect the Blatherverse enough to make their own decisions. So like it if you like it, subscribe if you want to, hit the bell if you're obsessed with these blatherings, but do it honestly. Don't do it because I told you to. And podcast, Brandon Tatum, H.A. Goodman, Mira, that Brandon Lehman, who I just discovered, who's really good, by the way. They're all really good. Stop telling me to like and subscribe and hit the bell. I'm not going to do it. I am not going to. It makes me not want to subscribe. It really does. So, but then serenity. Forget about it. That calms me down. Calms me down. I saw a really good quote because it pertains to what I'm about to talk about, something that really annoys me because people don't know when to stop. And this is from Marcus Aurelius. I saw it on some podcast. I'm not sure whose, but I'm assuming this is a real quote. And if it isn't, it's still a great quote. Here you go. You ready? The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Oh boy, does that apply to politics of this day and age. I do have a red line. I do have a red line. I'll get to what my red line is. But outside the red line, I can have a calm discussion with people who agree with me, disagree with me, whatever. For the most part, I might get annoyed. I might get annoyed, like I had somebody at my house last week. I've learned, and I've talked about this, how to talk to these people, because to me, the secret is finding something to agree on and giving them right. Don't just argue every point. So I learned a long time ago. I learned back in 2016, and this is what led to my Bay Area community not speaking to me anymore. Because in 2016, I would not bend the knee to Hillary Clinton. I would not. And I was very outspoken about it on Facebook. And I got into all kinds of arguments before I knew better. Not to get into a political argument on Facebook. And, I said, I'm not going to vote for Hillary. I'm not going to vote for Trump. I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. And boy, they treated me like some kind of leper. Like, you got to vote for Hillary. People need to understand that there is no future in beginning a sentence when you're talking to the blathering boomer with the 4 words, you gotta vote for. I don't gotta do anything. The only thing I gotta do is work and keep my company prosperous and happy. That's what I gotta do. I don't gotta do anything. I don't gotta do anything on this blather. I don't gotta blather. Last Thursday I didn't blather, by the way. Oh man, I got this microphone here. Let me show it to you. I'm going to move this a little bit and bring the microphone around. So I got this really nice professional microphone from my son as a Christmas present. And he has an unfortunate history of buying me gifts that haven't worked. So I really wanted this microphone to work. 2 electric can openers later, neither one of which worked. He gets me a microphone for Christmas. And I don't celebrate Christmas, but my ex-wife, her family does celebrate Christmas. We're divorced, so back in the custody days, I got Thanksgiving, she got Christmas. Point is, the kids were raised on Christmas. And so I'd buy them Christmas presents because what am I going to do? They're at my ex-wife's house. I got to have something on the tree for them. Anyway, blah blah blah. My son, who disagrees, who actually can be pretty annoying to talk to when it comes to politics. I love him, but I got him to be pretty annoying to talk to when it comes to politics. But he's got class. He is my son, because even though he disagrees with me, he bought me a microphone for Christmas to facilitate my having a more professional podcast, and I love him for that. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it work. First, I couldn't get it on the bracket because I had an old microphone that Pasta helped put in back in the day. That microphone didn't work anymore. So my son buys me this microphone because he actually watched my podcast one week where I'm talking into my computer mic like I'm doing right now. And he goes, "You need a better mic." So he buys me that for Christmas. I have no idea how to make it work. So I I didn't hook it up. Then Stephanie, on her way to her 10-day silent retreat, hooks it up, installs the bracket, makes it work, shows me how to turn it on, turn it off. So last Thursday, you want to know what happened last Thursday, Kamashori Kate? Here's what happened last Thursday. So I'm determined last Thursday, because Stephanie has shown me how to use the microphone. I sit down at 5 minutes before 6 and I go to do my live stream with the microphone, and I cannot get my computer to recognize the microphone. So I was verblungered. I was verdreht, I was verchatted. Take your choice of Yiddish words for what I was. And I started blathering, and I never really have a script. Sometimes I'll have a few notes I'll talk from. And I basically blathered myself into a blathering corner. And I was just it was one of those moments that I feared back in my improv days, where my biggest fear, my bad dream fear, when I was doing improv back in 1992, was being in the middle of an exercise, a skit, whatever you want to call it, and not knowing what to say. And that's what happened last Thursday. I was like, that wasn't a freeze frame. That was me. So I aborted. I aborted. And then the one thing I saved was a 56-second clip showing that the possibility of the Ayatollah being overthrown before April 1st had jumped in probability. This is according to one of the prediction markets, from 27% to 37% in a short period of time. That's a very significant jump. So I had a lot of hope. Spoiler alert, it's down to 18 now. Kind of sad. More than kind of sad. And again, I already said it. I stand with the Iranian people. I stand with the Israeli people. I stand with all people who just are peace loving. Does that mean I'm still a leftist? Do I still get to call myself a leftist because I believe in peace and happiness and prosperity? Because I got to tell you, Blatherverse, those were leftist concepts when I was growing up. They truly were. I don't know what it is now. And by the way, just while I'm thinking about it, voter ID is not racist. I'm going to say it again a little bit louder. Voter ID is not racist. And I'm going to say it one more time. Voter ID is not racist. And if you think that people can't obtain an ID to vote, you're the racist. You're the racist. Oh my God, I was a bleeding heart liberal most of my life. I'm going to use bleeding heart as a pejorative. No, I'm not going to use it as pejorative. I'm not. You're the virtue signaling asshole that thinks that these people need your help. They don't need your help. They need your respect. And it's disrespectful. It's utterly, completely, irrevocably, unambiguously disrespectful to think that people aren't capable of getting an ID so they can vote. They can get an ID to go on an airplane. They can get an ID to drive. They can get an ID to buy beer. But they can't get an ID to vote? Is buying beer more important than voting? And anyway, it makes me crazy. March 3rd, 2021 was National Reading Day. Now, National Reading Day was something, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. Hey, I have a full-time job, so I don't have time to research every little thing. So if I say something factually incorrect, call me out on it, and I'll retract. If you bring the receipts. But if I'm not mistaken, National Reading Day is something that was implemented by the guy who could do no wrong named Barack Obama in honor of Dr. Seuss. So why was Dr. Seuss left out of National Reading Day on March 3rd, 2021, when Obama's former vice president was occupying the White House? Well, it's because they played the R card. They decided that some of the books written by Dr. Seuss were racist. Some of my favorite books when I was a kid, to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. we read that in my third grade class. Not my third grade class. Mrs. Joints would never allow it. It was probably my second grade class, Mrs. Aranthi. She was cooler. Mrs. Joints was mean third grade teacher. She would never have let us. She was against laughing and smiling. No. So I posted something supporting Dr. Seuss, and people went nuts. I had to block 3 people in real life. I just could. They were going crazy on me, calling me a white supremacist, all kinds of names. I just like Dr. Seuss. It's one of my not just one of my fondest childhood memories. It's one of my fondest early fatherhood memories. Having my son, the one who bought me the microphone, sit. I looked over. That's where the microphone is, over on that side. Having my son sit on my lap and reading Green Eggs and Ham, and we'd go together because I build it up, and I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them. And we both scream, anywhere. I'm trying to do that with my grandson now, but he won't sit still long enough. But we'll get there. We'll get there. And my son still has the book that I used to read to him, Green Eggs and Ham, which again, blood is thicker than water. End of the day, we argue bitterly. But at the end of the day, blood is thicker than water. He's still my son, and he bought me a microphone so I could blather about things he disagrees with. That is America. That's the America I want to be in. This whole cancel thing. So then, like I said, I found myself aligned with a lot of progressives, the whole Jimmy Dore, Nico House, Convo Couch, Kim Iverson, Chris Hedges, the Gray Zone, all of them. And then October 7th happened. So I have my own red line. And my red line was drawn in the blood of the people at the Nova Music Festival and Bondi Beach. I'm sorry, but if you're pro-Hamas, I can't have a civil conversation with you. I hate saying that. It's not what I'm about, but I can't. It's a red line. It's a red line. Like I said, Pasta was my bestie. We don't even speak to each other anymore. I want to make another offer. If any of you can find a single tweet or video condemning what happened at Bondi Beach, forget October 7th. You're not going to find it. Bondi Beach isn't even arguable. It didn't take place on Israeli soil. So it didn't take place between the river and the sea. It took place in Australia, which nobody's disputing. Australia belongs to the Australians. If you could find a single tweet or a single video from the following people: Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Anya Pimplenell, Glenn Greenwald, Dave Smith, Jimmy Jure, Nico House, and especially Kim Iverson. Kim Iverson, I will pay double. Any of those people have a video or a tweet condemning the attack at Bondi Beach, I will send you $100, and I will send the podcaster who did it, even though I don't subscribe, every single one of them. Well, I never subscribed to Dave Smith or Anya Pimplenell, but all the others yeah. And I feel bad about Nico. He's a great guy, but he's out in the woods on this one. Find me a tweet or a clip from any of these people denouncing the attack at Bondi Beach. I will send you $100. I'll send them $100. Let me change it. Let me sweeten the pot. I'll send you $150. I'll send them $150. That's first prize. That goes to the first person who comes up with it. Second person, $100 for you and $100 for the podcaster, but it can't be the same clip. Sorry, it's only one prize per clip. So 150, 150, 100 and 100, and third place 50 and 50. So that's $600 in prizes. I'm willing to spend $600 Blather dollars, which are real money. I mean, I'm talking Venmo, Zelle, whatever. I will send you your share of that $600 booty. I'll even take another step. Well, no, I'm not sure. I'd like to have different people win it, but that's my challenge. That's my challenge. Because I don't think I'm going to even give out first place, but I'll be really impressed. And if I can give out all three, I'll be happy. Tell you the truth, I would love it if one of those people, my former compadres, actually denounced what happened at Bondi Beach. So there was that. I have great aunts, great uncles who died in Auschwitz. I'll never meet them. They died, my grandfather's sister. My grandfather made it here. It's how he became my grandfather. He would have died in Europe. He came over at age 11, age 12 by himself. Courageous guy. He died in 1945. My cousin found out later that on the same day my grandfather died, his sister died in Auschwitz. So you stop playing the Nazi Gestapo concentration camp card, you've crossed another red line with me. And I'm not always nice about it. But, well, no, if I pay attention to my history, I would see that what's happening now has parallels to 1933. Well, sir, I couldn't agree more, because what's happening now that was happening in 1933 is anti-fucking Semitism. That's what's happening now. There's your parallel to 1933. You could ignore that. You can call Gaza a concentration camp. Get the hell out of here, So anyway, my friendship with pasta lasted till about October 29th, maybe. There was a gradual deterioration in the aftermath of October 7th as I saw more about what happened, because we actually were together the night that it happened, or the day that it happened. And I didn't know enough about Israel. I thought I knew Israeli history then, and I think I know it now. But every time I learn something new, I learn how much I didn't know. And he knows nothing. He knows nothing other than the rhetoric of from the river to the sea, world's largest outdoor concentration camp. Virtue signaling nonsense. I can't take it anymore. I'm annoyed. I am annoyed. I am annoyed. Just in case people in the Blatherverse haven't seen what actually happened at the church.
You're interfering Good. Renee, good. Renee, good. Good. Renee, good.
Do you understand? This is happening right in the middle of service. These are people, just regular people from Minnesota, attending church on Sunday, and these people are blocking the aisles and impeding their ability to get up and walk out, and trying to force them to chant Renee Good's name.
Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
People were scared. People were trembling. Children were crying. This was not okay. This is not. This is not protest. This is. I wouldn't even call it activism, because to me, activism doesn't necessarily carry a negative flavor to it. This is just criminal. It's criminal. I'm not a churchgoer. I'm not even a synagogue goer, but I respect people's right to worship in peace. And don't forget, there have been stabbings and shootings in churches. These innocent people didn't know what was going on. So this is what my friend either didn't see or saw and denied. Don Lemon was arrested. And I bet the same people who think that men should be in women's sports, or think it's just so small that it's not worth talking about, who think the voter ID is racist, who think that who support open borders or deny that we had open borders, that there were, Don Lemon, what's the first thing he does? He goes on the two worst shows on television, Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, and pleads his case to a sympathetic audience. Good luck. Let me see you go on Gutfeld. Let me see you go on The Five. Let me see you going outnumbered. Let me see you go on any place. Even go on CNN when Scott Jennings is on the panel. Go anywhere where you're going to be asked a follow-up question. So you think that going around to these assholes and commiserating with them is going to bring you actual intelligent sympathy? It's not. It's not. Sorry, but it's not. Let me tell you, the evidence that Don Lemon broke the law. And by the way, I thought everybody said nobody's above the law. I remember hearing a lot of nobody's above the law in the run-up to the 2024 election. Don Lemon absolutely clearly broke the law. In fact, I know Stephanie's always criticizing me for quoting myself, but I'm going to quote myself. I'm going to show a little thing from the Blathercast of a few weeks ago. This is Don Lemon outside the church. I'm sure you all know that a church got invaded on Sunday by a bunch of activists. And Don Lemon, who claims that he just apparently not everybody knew about it, kind of stumbled upon this and was perfectly innocent. Well, here he is before the church was attacked.
Our resistance protesters are planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Sakima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account.
As you could see, Don Lemon clearly outside of the church, before they went in, he knew exactly what was going to go on. He drops that activist woman's name like Fredo dropping Johnny Ola's name in Godfather 2. Do I have one more thing? Oh, this whole thing, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. I never heard of Billie Eilish until Michael Rappaport was talking about Coachella. And putting it in relation, like saying, imagine if what happened at Nova happened at Coachella. And he's like, you're there to watch Billie Eilish. I thought it was a guy. Maybe I got Billie Eilish mixed up with Billy Idol. I probably did, or Billy Squire. There's a lot of Billies. Apparently, no, this Billy is a woman. Although at the Grammys, there was a Supreme Court justice in the crowd who doesn't know what a woman is. So I'm going to overrule a Supreme Court justice, go out on a limb, and say that Billie Eilish is actually a woman. And she gets up there and says, nobody's illegal on stolen land. Well, she got called out on her shit.
Big news, everybody. I've decided today to move into Billie Eilish's $6 million Malibu beachside mansion. She announced today at the Grammys that no human being is illegal on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
So I'm going to be making the trip to America. I'm packing my bags right away, and I'm looking forward to just taking possession of her $6 million Malibu mansion. No human being is illegal. So I want to thank everybody who's believed in me on this journey. I really can't wait to move in. It's now my house. I want to thank Billie Eilish as well for her generosity. Thank you so much.
And then the tribe that supposedly the land was stolen from, that supposedly came out and said that they were going to sue to get their land back and take the house. And then supposedly a law firm, Sinai Law, was going to represent them pro bono. It's a lie. It's a hoax. You know, there is no law firm going pro bono on this. There is no movement by the Native Americans to take Billie Eilish's house. Misinformation exists on both sides of the coin. And I got to call that out. As entertaining as it is, as much as I hoped it was true, it's not. So I will say the words and bid you all good night. The boomer has blathered. Thank you so much for watching this edited version. Peace out.